Captain Tae Kim stood by the large window of the space station, his dark eyes fixed on the stars. For 10 years he had worked in space. For 10 years he had wondered if humans were alone. Today, he got his answer. "Captain, you need to see this," called Ji Lee. Her voice shook as she spoke. Tae turned from the window. Ji sat at her control station, her fingers moving quickly over the screen. Her usually calm face showed fear. "What is it?" Tae asked, walking to her side. "Something big just appeared near Earth," Ji said. She pointed to her screen. "It came out of nowhere. No warning. Nothing on our radar until it was right there." Tae looked at the screen. A large black shape hung in space not far from the space station. It was smooth and dark, like a piece of night sky had taken form. It was at least 20 times bigger than their station. "Is it a ship?" Tae asked, though he already knew the answer. "Yes, sir," Ji said. "And it's not one of ours?" The room fell quiet. 6 other crew members stopped what they were doing and came to look. They all knew what this meant. They were not alone in space. Aliens had come to Earth. "Have they tried to talk to us?" Tae asked. "No, sir," Ji said. "They're just sitting there." Tae took a deep breath. He had trained for many things, but not this. No one had. "Send them a message," he ordered. "Standard greeting package, all languages." Ji nodded and began working. Years ago, scientists had made a special message to send if aliens ever came. It had basic math, pictures of humans, and simple words of peace in all Earth languages. "Message sent, sir," Ji said after a minute. They waited. 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10. No answer, Ji finally said. Tae frowned. "Keep trying. Every 30 minutes. "Yes, sir." Young Cho, the team's scientist who studied possible alien life, joined them at the screen. Her small round glasses caught the light as she leaned in to look. "The ship design is amazing," she said softly. "No clear engines, no visible doors or windows. How do they see out? How do they move through space?" "Does it matter?" asked Han Park, Tae's second in command. "They're here. They're not talking. We should be worried." "If they wanted to harm us, they could have done it already," Young said. "A ship that size with their level of technology, they could have destroyed Earth before we even knew they were. Here." Tae nodded. Young was right. Whatever these aliens wanted, it wasn't simple destruction. "Sir," Ji's voice cut through his thoughts. "They're doing something." Tae looked at the screen again. A soft blue light had begun to shine from the alien ship. It spread out, reaching toward Earth and all the space stations in orbit. "What is that?" "A weapon?" Han asked, his hand moving to the alarm button. "Wait," Young said, looking at her own screen. It's just light. Some kind of scan, I think. It's passing through everything like an X-ray, but more complex." The blue light touched their station. Tae felt nothing, but all their computers began to show new data. "It's scanning our station," Young said, excitement in her voice. "Looking at our structure, our systems." Her eyes widened. "Wait, it's focusing on our air systems, our water, our food supplies." "Life support," Tae said with sudden understanding. "They're checking what we need to live." For the next hour, the blue light continued its scan. It touched every space station, every ship in Earth's orbit. It even scanned deep into Earth's surface. "They're being very thorough," Young said. "They must be trying to understand us." "Or looking for weaknesses," Han muttered. Suddenly, a new screen lit up on Ji's station. Strange symbols flashed across it. "Sir, they're sending data to us," Ji said, her fingers moving to capture it. "I can't read it, but it's definitely a message." Young moved to Ji's side. "Can we translate it?" "I'm trying," Ji said. "The computer is working on it, but..." She was cut off by a loud noise that came through all their speakers at once. It started low, then rose to a high pitch that made everyone cover their ears. It wasn't just loud, it seemed to vibrate through their bones, through the metal of the station itself. "What is that?" Tae shouted over the noise. "It's coming from them!" Ji yelled back, pointing to the alien ship. "It's broadcasting on all Frequencies. The sound changed, becoming a pattern. 3 long wails, then 3 short ones. Over and over. Young's face had gone white. "It's an alarm," she said. "They're sounding an alarm." "Why?" Han demanded. "What's happening?" Before Young could answer, smaller ships began to launch from the main alien vessel. Each one was about the size of a bus, smooth and black like their mothership. They spread out, moving toward different space stations in Earth orbit. "Are they attacking?" Han asked, reaching for the weapons control. "No," Young said, watching the smaller ships. "Look at how they're moving, slow, careful. They're approaching the docking areas." She was right. The small ships were positioning themselves near the airlocks of each space station. They weren't firing weapons. They were waiting. "Sir," G called from her station. "I've partly translated their message. It's still rough, but—" She looked up, confusion on her face. "They're telling us to leave, to get out. They keep using a word that means something like danger or poison." "They think we're in danger?" Tay asked. "No," Young said slowly as understanding dawned on her face. "They scanned our life support systems. They saw what we breathe, what we drink, what we eat." She looked at Tay with wide eyes. "Captain, I think they believe our environment is toxic to us. They think we're trapped in a dangerous place." "That's crazy," Han said. "This is our home." "Not to them," Young replied. "To a different species with different needs. Our oxygen-rich air might look like poison. Our water might seem dangerous. So this sound—" Tay gestured to the speakers still blaring the strange alarm. "It's an evacuation alarm," Young said. "They're trying to rescue us." One of the small alien ships had reached their station's airlock. A green light now shone from it onto their door. "They want us to come aboard," Young said. "They think they're saving us." Tay looked around at his crew. Their faces showed a mix of fear and wonder. First contact with aliens, and it was all because of a misunderstanding. The aliens hadn't come to attack or to study humans. They had come because they thought humans needed help. "What do we do, Captain?" G asked. Tay took a deep breath. This was not what he had expected when he woke up this morning, but sometimes the best way to handle the unexpected was to face it head on. "We need to talk to them," he said firmly. "Show them we're not in danger, that this is normal for us." He turned to Young. "Can you prepare some kind of visual explanation? Something to show them that oxygen is what we need?" Young nodded eagerly. "Yes, Captain. I can put together basic human biology diagrams." "Good." Tay turned to G. "Keep trying to improve that translation. We need to communicate clearly." "Yes, sir." "Han," Tay continued, "prepare a small team. 4 people. Me, you, Young, and G. We're going to accept their invitation." Han looked uncertain. "Is that safe?" "Probably not," Tay admitted. "But they think they're saving us. That seems like a good start to a relationship." He smiled slightly. "Besides, how often do you get a chance to be the first humans to board an alien ship?" Outside their window, the alien alarm continued its eerie wail across space, calling to all humans, offering rescue from what the aliens thought was a deadly environment. It was a first contact, born of a misunderstanding, but perhaps, Tay thought, it was still the beginning of something amazing. "Are we really going to board an alien ship?" G asked as she put on her spacesuit. Her hand shook slightly. "Yes," Captain Tay said firmly, "but we'll be careful. We stay together. We keep our suits on at all times." The team of 4, Tay, Han, G, and Young, were in the prep room near the airlock. The alien rescue ship still waited outside, its green light shining steadily on their door. "I've prepared basic information about human biology," Young said. She held up a tablet computer. "Pictures of lungs, blood cells carrying oxygen, our atmosphere. Simple things to show them that oxygen isn't poison to us. It's necessary." "Let's hope they understand," Han said, checking his suit's air supply, "or this could be a short trip." Tay looked at his small team. "Remember, they think they're helping us. Whatever they are, they came here to save humans, not harm us. That gives us a good starting point. Unless they decide we're too damaged from living in poison and need to be fixed, Han muttered. Young shook her head. If they wanted to change us, they would have tried already. I think they genuinely want to help. Only one way to find out, Tay said. He put on his helmet and locked it in place. Everyone ready? They all nodded. Then let's make history, Tay said. He pressed the button to open the airlock. The team floated through the short tunnel that now connected their station to the alien ship. The alien craft had extended a smooth, tube-like structure to their airlock, creating a sealed pathway. The walls of this tunnel glowed softly with blue light. Amazing, Young whispered. They created a perfect seal without even seeing our airlock design up close. At the end of the tunnel was a round door. It slid open as they approached, revealing a chamber inside the alien ship. The room was larger than Tay had expected, with curved walls that seemed to flow into each other rather than meet at angles. Everything was lit with the same soft blue light. And there, waiting for them, were the aliens. Tay's breath caught in his throat. After years of wondering, of looking at the stars and asking if anyone else was out there, he was finally seeing the answer with his own eyes. There were 4 of them, each about the height of a tall human. Their bodies were thin and seemed to be covered in a silvery skin that reflected the blue light in rainbow patterns. They had no visible mouths, but each had 6 eyes arranged in a circle around what might be called a head. Their limbs were long and jointed in several places, giving them a graceful, flowing way of moving. "Hello," Tay said, though he knew they couldn't hear him through his helmet. He raised his hand in a universal greeting gesture. The aliens moved forward. One raised a limb, pointing at the human spacesuits, and then to another door leading deeper into the ship. "I think they want us to go somewhere," G said. Young studied the readings on her suit's monitor. "The air in this room, it's not like our air. Very low oxygen. High levels of some other gases I don't recognize. So we definitely keep our suits on," Tay said. The team followed the aliens through the door. The next room was smaller but filled with what were clearly control panels and screens. Images flashed on these screens, pictures of Earth, of human cities, of space stations. One of the aliens touched a panel, and a 3D image of the human space station appeared in the air. The alien pointed to the life support systems, then made a motion like something breaking down. "They're trying to show us that our life support is failing," Young said. "That's what they think anyway." The alien touched another panel. Now the image showed the interior of the station with colored gas filling the rooms. The gas was marked in alien symbols that flashed red. "That's supposed to be our air," Han said. "They're showing it as dangerous." Young stepped forward. She held up her tablet, which showed a diagram of human lungs, then images of Earth's atmosphere. "This is what we breathe," she said slowly, pointing to the oxygen molecules on her screen. "We need this. It's good for us, not bad." The aliens looked at her tablet, then at each other. Their silver skin rippled with patterns that moved and changed, perhaps their way of talking. One alien approached and held out a limb toward Young's tablet. It seemed to be asking permission to touch it. Young nodded. The alien's limb, which ended in several small finger-like appendages, gently touched the screen. Suddenly, many holographic images appeared in the air around them. These showed human bodies in amazing detail. Hearts pumping, lungs breathing, blood cells moving through veins. "They understand our biology," Young said, her voice filled with wonder. "They just can't believe we evolved to use oxygen." The aliens continued to make their skin ripple with patterns. One touched another panel and a new image appeared. It showed what must be their own home world. A planet with purple-tinged clouds and vast oceans that looked almost silver in color. Then it showed the aliens themselves, breathing air with almost no oxygen. Instead, their air had high levels of gases that would kill a human in minutes. "I see," Young said quietly. "What's poison to them is normal for us, and what's normal for them would be poison to us." Sue, the station's engineer who had stayed behind, spoke through their radio. So both sides think the other is living in poison? Exactly, Young replied. It's a simple misunderstanding with huge implications. The aliens made more gestures, pointing again to the deeper parts of their ship. They still want to evacuate us, Tay said. They don't understand yet that we're fine where we are. Young thought for a moment, then used her tablet to draw a simple picture. She showed humans living happily on Earth, breathing oxygen. Then, she showed the same humans becoming sick in an environment like the aliens' homeworld. We need oxygen, she said clearly, pointing to her helmet. Without it, we die. The aliens were still for a long moment. Then one reached out and drew something on Young's tablet. A picture of their own kind becoming sick in Earth's atmosphere. Yes, Young said excitedly. Yes, that's right. Your air hurts us. Our air hurts you. Different biology. The aliens' skin rippled rapidly. Then one touched a panel and the evacuation alarm that had been sounding throughout Earth's orbit suddenly stopped. I think they're starting to understand, Tay said. One of the aliens moved to another panel and touched. A new image appeared. A map of the galaxy with thousands of stars. Certain stars were marked with symbols. The alien pointed to one of these stars, then to themselves. That's their home, Young said. They're showing us where they come from. The alien then pointed to another section of the map where there were fewer marked stars. It made a gesture that seemed to ask a question. I think they want to know where we're from, Tay said. He stepped forward and pointed to where the sun would be. The aliens seemed surprised. Their skin rippled quickly, and they looked at each other. One of them touched another panel. An image of the sun appeared along with all the planets. Earth was highlighted. Yes, Tay said, nodding. That's our home. The alien's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. It touched the panel again, and Earth's atmosphere was displayed, a blue shell around the planet with its composition shown in alien symbols. The high oxygen level was marked prominently. The aliens again made the rippling patterns on their skin, more intensely this time. I don't think they've ever encountered a species that evolved in an oxygen-rich environment before, Young said. To them we must seem impossible. Han laughed. Great first impression. Hello, aliens. We breathe poison and live on a death world. Nice to meet you. One of the aliens touched a final panel. A new image appeared, the alien ship still in Earth orbit, but now the small rescue ships were returning to the main vessel. They're calling off the evacuation, Tay said. They understand we're not in danger. The alien that seemed to be their leader stepped forward. It made a complex gesture with its limbs, then held out one limb toward Tay, almost like it was offering to shake hands. Tay hesitated only briefly before extending his own hand. The alien gently wrapped its finger-like appendages around Tay's gloved hand and moved it up and down once. I think, Tay said with a smile inside his helmet, this is the start of a very interesting relationship. Behind him, Young was already typing notes on her tablet. The oxygen problem was just the beginning, she said excitedly. Think about it. If such a basic thing as what we breathe is so different between us, what else might we learn from each other? We're looking at biology that evolved completely differently from Earth life. The scientific potential is endless. As if understanding her excitement, the alien's skin rippled with new patterns that somehow seemed to convey a sense of wonder, matching her own. The misunderstanding about life support had led to first contact. Now, 2 very different species stood face to face, each breathing what would kill the other, yet finding a way to connect across the vast biological divide. 2 days had passed since the first meeting with the aliens. The large ship still hung in Earth's orbit, but now smaller human vessels moved back and forth between it and the space station. Scientists, diplomats, and engineers from Earth had joined Captain Tay's team. Today they were meeting in a new room that the aliens had created. It sat between the human area and the alien area of the ship. One half had Earth normal air for humans. The other half had the aliens' air. A clear wall separated the 2 sides, allowing both species to see each other without sharing the same air. This is much better than talking through our helmets, Young said happily. She sat at a table on the human side, her tablet computer in front of her. On the alien side, 3 of the silvery beings stood watching. The humans had learned that their skin patterns were indeed how they talked to each other. The changing colors and shapes were their language. "Have we made progress with communication?" asked Min Park, a language expert who had arrived from Earth yesterday. "Some," Young replied. "We've established basic concepts. They call themselves the Wren, as close as we can pronounce it. They understand that we need oxygen, and they've stopped trying to rescue other humans." Min nodded and studied the aliens. "Their ship is amazing. The technology to create this room alone is beyond what we can do." One of the Wren approached the clear wall. It held up a device that projected an image in the air, a beautiful purple and silver planet. "That's their home world," Young explained, to Min. "They've shown it to us before." The Wren touched the device again. Now the image showed the makeup of their planet's air. It had almost no oxygen. Instead, it had high levels of gases that would kill humans instantly. "They keep coming back to this point," Tay said, sitting down next to Young. "They seem fascinated by how different our air needs are." The Wren made more images appear. These showed many other planets, all with air similar to their homeworld. Then images of different alien species, some looking a bit like the Wren, others very different but all living in similar air. "I think they're showing us other species they've met," Young said. "And they all breathe the same kind of air they do." Min leaned forward, interested. "So they've never met oxygen breathers before, we're the first?" "Maybe," Young said. "Or at least very rare." The lead Wren, whom they had started calling Silver, though they had no idea if the aliens even had individual names, made a new picture appear. It showed a human body, with oxygen moving through the blood. Then it showed a Wren body, with a completely different system for breathing and moving energy through their bodies. "They're comparing our biology again," Young said. She turned to Min and Tay. "I've been studying the information they've shared. The Wren use a completely different biochemical system than we do. They don't use oxygen as a reactive element to release energy from food. They use something else." "Is that important?" Tay asked. "Very," Young said. "Oxygen is highly reactive. That's why it works so well for us. It helps us get energy from food quickly. But being reactive also makes it dangerous. That's why metal rusts in our air, why things burn." Min nodded slowly. "So to the Wren, we're breathing something that makes metal break down and things catch fire?" "Exactly," Young said. "To them, it's like we're living in poison. They couldn't believe a species would evolve to need such a dangerous element." Silver made another image appear. This one showed a Wren in an Earth-like atmosphere. The Wren quickly became sick and died. "They're showing what happens if they breathe our air," Tay said. Silver nodded, a human gesture it had learned. Then it showed an image of humans living happily in Earth's atmosphere. Next came a new image, a scale with a human on one side and several alien species on the other. The human side dipped down, as if the human was heavier or stronger. "What does that mean?" Tay asked. Young thought for a moment. I think they're saying we're tougher than other species they've met. Because we evolved in an oxygen environment, we had to become more resilient." Min's eyes widened. "Are they saying we're the tough ones? That breathing oxygen makes us stronger?" "In a way, yes," Young said. "Evolution in an oxygen-rich environment would select for organisms that can handle oxidative stress. Our bodies had to develop powerful antioxidant systems just to survive. That might make us more resistant to certain types of damage." Silver made a new image appear. It showed the inside of a human cell with all its parts working. Then it zoomed in on small parts of the cell that protected it from oxygen damage. "They're amazed by our cellular protection systems," Young said. "What's normal for us is extraordinary to them." Tay leaned back in his chair. "So we came into space thinking we'd be the fragile ones compared to aliens, and instead we find out we're the space orcs who breathe poison for fun?" Min laughed. "Looks that way." Silver touched its device again. Now the image showed a large structure floating in space. It looked like a meeting place with many different alien ships docked around it. "What's that?" Tay asked. Young studied the image. "I think it's some kind of space station, but much bigger than anything we've built." Silver pointed to the space station, then made a gesture toward the humans. It seemed to be inviting them. "Are they asking us to go there?" Min asked. "I think so," Young said. "I believe this might be a meeting place for different species, perhaps a trading post or diplomatic center." Tay looked thoughtful. "So they want to introduce us to other aliens?" Silver made its skin ripple in what they had come to recognize as agreement. Then it showed one more image. Humans in special suits, working in areas where other aliens couldn't go. "Now what are they showing?" Min asked. Young's face lit up with understanding. "Oh, they're showing humans working in high-oxygen environments that would be dangerous to the other species. They're suggesting we could have a special role." "A job only we can do," Tay said, nodding. Min looked from the image to Silver. "They're offering us a place in their... what? Their society? Their alliance of species?" "It seems so," Young said. "Because we can survive conditions that would kill them. We have value." Silver made a final gesture. It pointed to the stars, then to the humans, then made a wide, sweeping motion with its limbs. "I think," Tay said slowly, "they're inviting us to join them among the stars." The three humans sat quietly for a moment, taking in what this meant. Humans had dreamed of meeting aliens for centuries. They had often imagined being the weaker species, facing powerful alien civilizations. No one had expected that their very biology, their need for what other species considered poison, would make them special. "We should tell Earth's leaders," Min finally said. "This is bigger than just first contact. This could change humanity's future." Tay nodded and stood up. "I'll contact them right away. Young, keep working with Silver. Try to learn more about this space station and what exactly they're offering us." As Tay left the room, he glanced back at Silver. The alien was watching him, its 6 eyes blinking in sequence. Tay raised his hand in a small wave, and to his surprise, Silver raised its limb in return, copying the gesture perfectly. A small thing, Tay thought, but important. 2 species, so different they couldn't even breathe the same air, finding ways to understand each other, all because of a misunderstanding about life support systems. Sometimes, Tay reflected, the biggest discoveries came from the simplest mistakes. 1 week after first contact, Earth was buzzing with excitement. News of the Wren had spread everywhere. People looked up at the night sky, knowing that aliens were right there, just beyond sight. In orbit, talks between humans and the Wren continued. Earth had sent its best diplomats, scientists, and leaders to meet with the aliens. Today was especially important. The Wren had promised to share more about the galaxy and humanity's possible place in it. Captain Tay stood in the meeting room, now called the bridge because it bridged the gap between species. With him were Young, Min, and several important people from Earth, including Dr. Wang, the head of the United Nations Space Agency. On the Wren side of the clear wall, 5 aliens waited. Silver was there, along with 2 Wren who seemed to be leaders from their homeworld. "Welcome, friends," Dr. Wang said, bowing slightly to the Wren. The aliens had quickly picked up this human greeting and bowed in return. Silver touched its device, and a large, detailed map of the galaxy appeared between them. "This," Young explained to the others, "is the known galaxy according to the Wren. The blue dots are stars with planets where intelligent life has evolved. There were hundreds of blue dots spread throughout the galaxy, but most were clustered in certain areas. And the red dots?" Dr. Wang asked, pointing to a much smaller number of dots scattered around. "Those," Young said, "are what the Wren call extreme environment worlds. Planets where life evolved using oxygen as a primary element, like Earth." Everyone looked more closely at the map. There were only about 20 red dots among hundreds of blue ones. "We're rare," Min said quietly. Silver made the map zoom in on one section. Here, 3 red dots sat relatively close to each other. One was clearly Earth. Silver pointed to the other 2. "Other oxygen-breathing species?" Dr. Wang asked. Young nodded. Yes. The Wren have encountered two other species who, like us, evolved to use oxygen. They live on those planets. What are they like? Tay asked. Silver showed new images. One species looked somewhat like tall, slender humans, but with 4 arms and rough bark-like skin. The other looked more like large, intelligent octopuses with hard shells on their backs. The tree-like ones are called the Vorn, Young said, reading from notes she had taken during earlier talks. They evolved in forests with very high oxygen levels. The octopus-like ones are the Mel. They come from ocean worlds. Are they part of the larger galactic community? Dr. Wang asked. Silver's skin rippled in what humans now recognized as affirmation. Then it showed an image of a Vorn working in what looked like a ship engine room filled with oxygen gas. Next came a picture of a Mel swimming through a large tank inside what might be a space station, fixing something underwater. I see, Young said, understanding. The Vorn and Mel serve special roles because they can survive in environments that would kill most other species. One of the Wren leaders stepped forward. Its skin rippled in complex patterns that were translated on screens the Wren had provided. Your kind rare, the translation read. Valuable, strong, can go places others cannot, do work others cannot. Important, in galaxy community. Dr. Wang looked thoughtful. They see us as useful because we can survive in what they consider dangerous conditions. Exactly, Young said. To them, we're like people who can walk through fire or handle deadly chemicals. Without protection. They're not looking down on us, they're impressed. The Wren leader continued, its skin patterns changing rapidly. Galactic Concord has rules. The translation read. New species join slowly, learn ways, but oxygen breathers different. Special, rules, fast path. What's the Galactic Concord? Tay asked. Young consulted her notes again. From what I understand, it's like a united government of spacefaring species. They have shared laws, trade agreements, and mutual defense. And they want us to join? Min asked. The Wren leader's pattern shifted again. Want you join? The translation confirmed. Need oxygen breathers. Few in galaxy. Many jobs only you do. Dr. Wang stepped closer to the clear wall. What kind of jobs? Silver showed more images. Humans in special suits working in high oxygen. Environments, fixing machines, exploring planets that would kill the Wren, handling materials that would be dangerous to other species. We would be their hazardous environment workers, Tay said, understanding. That's not exactly the grand entrance to the galactic stage that humanity imagined, Dr. Wang said, sounding slightly disappointed. Young shook her head. I think you're missing the point, Dr. Wang. This isn't just about doing dangerous jobs, it's about having a unique place. If oxygen breathers are rare, and we can do things others can't, that makes us valuable partners, not just workers. The Wren leader made new patterns. Not just workers, the translation read, echoing Young's point. Partners, protectors, explorers. Without oxygen breathers, many worlds cannot be studied. Many resources cannot be used. Many parts of galaxy empty. Silver added its own patterns. Your Earth thought alone, the translation showed. Now no, not alone, but special. Different, strong. Because breathe what kills others. Min smiled. When you put it that way, it does sound better. We're not the new kids on the block. We're the tough specialists who can handle the jobs, no. One else can. The second Wren leader, who had been quiet until now, made its skin ripple. Galactic Concord rules say special worlds protected, the translation read. 50 light-years around Earth, now safe zone. No other species settle without human permission. This caught everyone's attention. They're giving us a protected region of space? Dr. Wang asked, clearly surprised. It makes sense, Young said. If oxygen breathers are rare and valuable, they want to protect our home territory. Tay turned to Dr. Wang. This is a huge opportunity, sir. Not just to learn about alien life and technology, but to secure humanity's place among the stars. Dr. Wang nodded slowly. Yes, but we need to be careful. We're talking about joining an alien alliance we know almost nothing about. The Wren leader's patterns changed again. Understand caution, the translation read. We'll share knowledge. We'll teach. No rush decision. But want humans no place waiting. Important place. Silver added its own patterns. Started with mistake, the translation showed. Thought humans trapped in poison. Now no humans special because breathe what others. Call poison good mistake led to good meeting. Tay couldn't help but laugh. When you put it that way, we should be thankful you mistook our life support for a danger. Otherwise, you might have just passed us by. Silver's skin rippled in what the humans had come to recognize as the Wren equivalent of laughter. Dr. Wang turned to the human team. We have a lot to think about, a lot to learn, but I believe this is the beginning of a new chapter for humanity. Young looked at the galactic map still floating between them, with Earth's red dot glowing among the blue ones. We always wondered if we were alone, she said quietly. Now we know we're not alone, but we are special. Not because we're smarter or more advanced, but because of the simple air we breathe. Tay nodded. Sometimes the most basic things turn out to be the most important. As the meeting continued, Tay found himself thinking about the future. Humans working alongside aliens, exploring strange new worlds, finding their place in a vast, galactic community. All because the Wren had scanned their life support and sounded an evacuation alarm. Sometimes, Tay thought, the biggest misunderstandings led to the greatest discoveries. 1 month after the Wren first appeared in Earth's orbit, humanity was preparing for a historic step. Today, the first official human delegation would travel to the Galactic Concord's central meeting station. This huge space structure served as a gathering place for all the space-traveling species in this part of the galaxy. Captain Tay stood in the launch bay of the main Wren ship, watching as the human team boarded the special transport vessel. The ship had been designed with a separate section just for humans, filled with Earth-normal air. Nervous? Young asked, coming to stand beside him. She had been chosen as one of the 10 humans who would make this first journey. A little, Tay admitted. 1 month ago, we didn't even know aliens existed. Now we're about to visit their version of the United Nations. Young smiled. And all because they thought our air was poison. President Ye, who now represented Earth in talks with the Wren, approached them. She wore a formal suit and carried a small box containing gifts for the alien representatives they would meet. Captain Tay, Dr. Cho, she greeted them. Are we ready for this journey? The ship is ready, Madam President, Tay confirmed. The Wren say it will take about 6 hours to reach the Concord station. So fast? President Ye asked. It would take our ships months to travel that distance. The Wren have technology far beyond ours, Young explained. Something about folding space. I don't fully understand it yet. Silver appeared at the door, to the launch bay. Over the past month, the alien had become the main link between humans and the Wren. It had learned to understand basic spoken English, though it still communicated through its skin patterns and the translation screens. Time go, Silver's translation read. Others wait meet humans. President Ye nodded. We're ready. The human team finished boarding the transport ship. Besides Tay, Young, and President Ye, there were diplomats, scientists, and 2 military representatives. Min was there too, still working on improving communication with the aliens. As the transport ship detached from the main Wren vessel, Tay looked out the window at Earth below them. It looked peaceful from space, a blue and green marble hanging in the darkness. How quickly everything had changed for the people living on that marble. I wonder what the Concord station will be like, Min said, sitting down next to Tay. Silver showed us pictures, but I'm sure they don't do it justice, Tay replied. The ship moved away from Earth at increasing speed. Soon the planet was just a small dot behind them, and then it vanished from view entirely. Young joined them, her tablet computer in hand as always. I've been studying the information the Wren gave us about the Galactic Concord, she said. It's fascinating. 26 different species working together, sharing technology, resolving conflicts peacefully. And now us, Min said. Species number 27. Not quite yet, Young corrected. We'll have observer status at first. Full membership takes time. But an accelerated path for us, right? Tay asked. Because we're oxygen breathers. Young nodded. Exactly. Most species wait decades to join. We might be accepted in just a few years. President Ye, who had been talking with the diplomats, came over to join their conversation. Dr. Cho, what should we expect when we arrive? She asked. How will the other species react to us? Young thought for a moment. Based on what the Wren have told us, most will be curious. Oxygen breathers are rare enough that many species have never met one. Some might be cautious, after all, we're walking around breathing what's deadly poison to them. Like meeting someone who bathes in acid, Min suggested. Something like that, Young agreed. But mostly, I think they'll be interested in what we can offer. The Wren have already told the Conquered about our unique abilities. Our ability to not die in oxygen, you mean? Tay said with a small smile. That and other things, Young said. The Wren were impressed by how quickly we adapted to meeting them. Apparently, some species take years to accept that aliens exist at all. The journey passed quickly as they prepared for the meeting ahead. Finally, Silver appeared in the doorway. To the human section. Almost there, the translation read, and come see. They followed Silver to the front of the ship where a large window showed the space ahead. At first, they saw nothing unusual, just stars and darkness. Then something enormous came into view. Wow, Min whispered. The Concord station was like nothing humans had ever built. It was not one structure, but many, hundreds of different sections connected by tubes and bridges, spinning slowly in space. Some parts glowed with blue light, others with green or purple. Ships of various sizes and shapes moved around it, coming and going from different docking areas. How big is that? President Ye asked, her eyes wide. Very big. Silver's translation read. Home to 1 million beings from all worlds. The human team stared in amazement as their ship approached the vast station. Up close they could see that different sections were clearly designed for different species. Some areas looked mechanical and angular, others organic and flowing. There, ship docked at a special area marked with new signs in both alien symbols and, surprisingly, Earth languages. They added signs in our languages, Young noted. They've been preparing for us. Welcome area for humans, Silver's translation explained. Safe air, right temperature, made for you. The ship connected to the station with a soft thud. Doors opened, revealing a walkway leading into a large round room. The room was furnished with things that looked almost but not quite like human furniture. The walls were decorated with pictures of Earth and human cities. They tried to make it familiar for us, President Ye said, clearly touched by the gesture. As they entered the welcome room, they saw several aliens waiting for them. There were 3 Wren, including one wearing special decorations that suggested high rank. But there were also 2 aliens they had never seen before. One stood tall, with 4 arms and bark-like skin covered in swirling patterns. The other was in a large tank of water, its tentacle-like limbs moving gently as it watched the humans enter. Vorn, Silver's translation indicated, pointing to the tree-like alien. Mel, it added, pointing to the one in the tank. The other oxygen breathers, Young whispered excitedly. The Vorn stepped forward. It had a translation device similar to the Wren's. It raised all 4 arms in what seemed to be a greeting gesture. Welcome, Earth humans, the translation read. Long we wait meet new oxygen kin. The Mel's tentacles moved in patterns that its own device translated. Good find you, it read. Few are we who breathe the strong air. Together now better. President Ye stepped forward and bowed deeply to each alien. On behalf of Earth and all humans, we thank you for this welcome, she said. We have much to learn from you, and we hope we have much to offer in return. The high-ranking Wren made skin patterns that translated to a formal welcome speech. It spoke of the Galactic Concord's mission of peace and cooperation, of shared knowledge and mutual protection. Today begins new chapter, the translation concluded. Humans join stars. Bring unique strengths. Take unique place. As the formal greetings continued, Tay moved to a large window that looked out at the station and the space beyond. He could see ships coming and going, some small like their transport, others massive like cities moving through space. Young joined, him at the window. "Amazing, isn't it?" she asked quietly. "1 month ago, we were alone. Now look at us." "All because they thought we needed rescuing," Tay said. "Because they scanned our life support and thought we were trapped in poison." Young laughed softly. "The greatest misunderstanding in human history. Or the greatest stroke of luck," Tay suggested. "If they hadn't thought we were in danger, they might have just observed us from a distance. Instead, they tried to save us and discovered we're tougher than they thought." "Humans," Young said with a smile, "breathing poison and living on a death world as far as most of the galaxy is concerned." Beyond the window, the vast expanse of space stretched out before them, no longer empty and unknown, but filled with worlds and beings and possibilities. He thought about the journey that had brought them here. From the moment the alien ship appeared in Earth's orbit, to the evacuation alarm, to this welcome in a station far from home. It had all started with a misunderstanding about something as simple as the air they breathed. Sometimes, Tay reflected, the universe worked in strange ways. Sometimes rescue came when you didn't need it, and sometimes breathing what others called poison made you exactly what the galaxy needed.